First Take is presented by ESPN Bet Sportsbook.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Molly Karen. Welcome into First Take. That is Stephen A. Smith, Dan Orlovsky, Brian Clark. And gentlemen, are we talking about actual NFL action this morning?
Thank God.
Not Micah Parsons' contract. We're talking about a game, a thriller that we had.
We're probably talking about that.
Not a contract.
Praise the Most High. Yes, we certainly are. But we're actually not going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about what happened before the first snap. What do you
just said, are we talking about game?
Okay, sorry.
Talking about game.
Like, we got to get into it. That's the story.
Right.
Eagles standout defensive tackle Jalen Carter was ejected from Thursday night's 24-20 win against the Cowboys before the first play from scrimmage. Carter and Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott got face-to-face. Carter spit on Prescott as the two began to separate. Both Dak and Carter on what went down post-game.
You know, it was a mistake that happened on my side, and it won't happen again. Just not being able to start the game, even finish the game, we'll get it better. It won't happen again.
I was just looking at him. I was right here by the two linemen, and guess I needed to spit, and I wasn't going to spit on my lineman, and I just spit ahead. And he asked, or he goes, "You trying to spit on me?" And at that point, I mean, I felt like he was insulting me. Like I wouldn't spit on somebody. I'm damn sure not trying to spit on you. Like we're about to play a game.
Ultimate sign of disrespect. Carter's ejection was the fastest by a player in an NFL game since 2005 when the Eagles' Jeremiah Trotter and Falcons' Kevin Mathis were ejected for fighting prior to kickoff. Stephen A., coming to you here first. Your reaction to what went down and Carter's ejection?
Utterly disgusted. Utterly disgusted. It's inexcusable. And, you know, you Jalen Carter, first of all, he should have been ejected. Secondly, I think he should be suspended for at least one game. You don't spit on anybody. You don't spit on a man. That's number one. Number two.
Or a woman.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. But I'm just talking about football players on the field, obviously. Obviously, then you think about it. Who's the most protected football player on the field? It's the quarterback. You spit on Dak Prescott, you don't think somebody's going to see that? Just the dumbest possible thing. And if you're Jalen Carter, I want to look in the camera. I want one of my ISO shots. Let me be Stephen A. here. Let me say this to Jalen Carter. Remember that car crash incident that you got into in 2023 that ultimately led to you falling to the 9th pick in the NFL draft when you were projected as the #1 overall pick? Nobody thought about that until last night. Because you fell because of your off-field behavior. People didn't trust you. Now you come on the field and you conduct yourself like that and you listen to radio driving in. And what are people talking about? Well, this was a problem. And, you know, obviously this is an on-field incident. This has nothing to do with the car crash that happened in 2023. I'm just using it to remind these guys what you do and how you act stays with you. I don't want to be up here talking about this morning. I don't want this kid's career compromised. I don't want his reputation tainted. I don't want him smeared. But when you spit on a man, when you spit on him on the football field, when you spit on a quarterback and you get yourself ejected before the game, Dak Prescott wasn't sacked once last night. We didn't anticipate that was going to happen, but it happened because you were out there. You weren't out there, and the Philadelphia Eagles had to adjust to life without their best defensive player. You thought about yourself. You didn't think about your teammates at all. It was stupid. You walked off the field with a smile on your face. What the hell is smiling about? What the hell was there to smile about? It was stupid. It was immature. And as far as I'm concerned, not only does he deserve a rejection, he deserves a suspension because of that. Because you got to send a message of you, the league. We ain't tolerating this kind of nonsense.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's inexcusable. And it's inexcusable in so many different ways, in the ones that Stephen A. pointed out, but it's also inexcusable you let your team down. It's inexcusable you let your organization down, you let your fan base down, you let your teammates down. And so somebody has to get into the ear of Jalen Carter and just get him to truly understand the big deal. One, you're playing for about $180 to $200 million. If Jalen Carter goes and has this year like he did last year, he'll top Micah Parsons' contract more than likely. So just getting him to understand how important everything that he does this year. And our scene knows this. We often hear or have heard the importance of a player like Nakobe Dean when it comes to Jalen Carter. And everybody at Georgia would intimate it, and then people even in Philadelphia would intimate. Nakobe Dean would just get him to understand how he acted, impacted the perception, the leadership that he would display, how he would get him to focus on the job and make sure that he wasn't off the field distracted. Nakobe Dean wasn't there because of the injury. And so I think it's paramount. I agree that there's going to be more than likely a suspension. I think there should be. But just people in that locker room really using this as an example of Jalen. No, like Jalen, you're too important of a player, and also you have too big of a future in the generational wealth impact that he can have if he's not making those ridiculous decisions.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. That's the decision, right? It's not a mistake when you spit on a human, right? What you're telling another human when you spit on them is you're not worth my discretion. You're not worth my respect. You're not worth my compassion. Like that is saying to someone else, you're the lowest of the low, right? When I'm walking outside, I don't spit on the ground. Right? Because I have a level of respect for the people around me. So to look at a man in his face and do that, it's not only disgusting, right? But it's a level of stupidity that can't even be fathomed. Because here you are, one of the best players in the entire league. It's the first game of the season. You're the defending Super Bowl champs. You're standing across from not only America's team, but America's quarterback, in the sense that Dak Prescott is the highest paid player in NFL history. The entire world is watching this game. And the reason they're watching this game is because they've all been told on First Take and on Get Up and on NFL Live that the defensive tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles is going to wreck this game. Instead, the Dallas Cowboys changed their entire playbook, their entire idea and game plan of what they were going to do because you were too stupid to control yourself. And it's not a situation where Dak Prescott did anything to you. This was you not respecting yourself, not respecting your teammates enough to make good decisions. And I don't know what the NFL does going forward, but an example does need to be made. And if you're Jalen Carter and what Stephen A is saying is correct in this sense, the way you present as a human gets you paid just as much as what the film says. That's and right. Jalen Carter has to be somebody that can be relied upon, that can be responsible, and now going forward has to be accountable.
We're going to leave it there. It's not a mistake. It's a decision. So well said. Guys, the Cowboys may have let one slip last night, though. Pro Bowl wide receiver CeeDee Lamb had 3 drops, including 2 in the fourth quarter, that prevented the Cowboys from pulling off the upset. Let's hear from Lamb shouldering the blame.
Man, that's terrible. Honestly, I feel like, I can't point no fingers at nobody else, you know what I'm saying? And I take full accountability and everything else that come with it because, as for me as a player, I pray for moments like that, you know what I'm saying, and the ball to come my way. And obviously for me to not come up with it, bro, it stings a little bit.
Wasn't just those plays. There's throws out there that I want back, but it's game one, and he's a guy that makes those plays. He's going to make those plays. We're not going to get down on him. We're not going to lose confidence by any means.
Obviously, RC Lamb taking full accountability there. He said he prayed for moments like this, wanting those big-time moments, and Dak protecting his guy. How much of the blame does he get for the loss?
He gets a lot of the blame. And what I love about CeeDee Lamb is the accountability. Right. I love CeeDee Lamb saying that I can't put this on anybody else in this locker room. I can't point any finger